welcome. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is Times Now Live and I'm Hina Gambhir. Let's get started with the top story of the day. In a big diplomatic victory for India, Colombia has officially withdrawn its earlier statement that extended condolences to Pakistan following India's Operation Sindoor. The move comes after a high-level engagement by a multi-party delegation led by Congress MP Shashi Tharoor during their official visit to Bogota. The delegation met with Colombia's Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and presented India's position on cross-border terrorism and the context of Operation Sindoor. Following this meeting, the Colombian government issued a clarification, clearly distancing itself from its previous stance and expressing support for India's counter-terror efforts. Well, this change in Colombia's statement is a big reality check to the so-called Saboot Brigade back home, those who rush to ridicule India's diplomatic outreach, questioning its intent as well as effectiveness. Congress leaders like Ajay Rai and Jairam Ramesh openly mocked the delegation's visits and cast doubts over the government's narrative. But now, Colombia's U-turn stands as a reality check. At a time when global opinion matters more than ever in the fight against terrorism, India's strategic engagement has delivered. The same Colombia that once appeared to side with Pakistan is now aligned with India's position. Shashi Tharoor welcomed Colombia's decision. He emphasized that there can be no equivalence between terrorists and innocent civilians, nor between those who attack a nation and those who defend it. He said the only disappointment with Colombia's earlier statement was that it appeared to overlook this critical distinction. Tharoor added that he is pleased to see the clarification now issued by Colombian government and expressed confidence that as representatives of the people of Colombia, they are determined to stand with India in support of its sovereignty. Listen in.
There is no equivalence possible between terrorists on the one hand and innocent civilians on the other. There is no equivalence between those who attack our country and those who defend their own country. And our only disappointment with the earlier statement by Colombia was that it seemed to have overlooked this difference. We're very pleased to learn that that statement has been withdrawn, as you also mentioned, and we're also very pleased that you, as representatives of the people of Colombia, are determined to stand with us for our sovereignty, for peace in the world, for peace in the subcontinent of India, and that you are very, very happy that this kind of dialogue will continue between our peoples and our representatives.
India, that Colombia has a lot of solidarity with India. We are your friends, we are partners, we reject any kind of terrorism. So be certain that any circumstance, at any situation, we will be on your side.
Before we move ahead, let's listen in to what Congress leaders Jairam Ramesh and Ajay Rai had earlier said about India's MP delegation abroad.
एक महीना हो गया 22 अप्रैल को पहलगाम की क्रूर घटना आतंकवाद हमला हुआ था। आज भी वो आतंकवादी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं। हमारे सांसद भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं और आतंकवादी भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं। हमारे सांसद भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं और आतंकवादी भी यहाँ वहाँ घूम रहे हैं।
मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा कि सरकार पूरी तरीके से फेल है। अपने फेलियर को छिपाने के लिए ये अलग अलग रास्ते अपना रहे हैं, अलग अलग डेलीगेशंस भेज रहे हैं, पर कहीं पर भी आम जनता समझ चुकी है कि ये केवल और केवल जनता को बेवकूफ़ बनाया गया।
Now, members of the Indian delegation visiting Colombia have clarified that Colombia's earlier pro-Pakistan statement perhaps stemmed from a lack of understanding of the factual matrix surrounding the situation in Pahalgam. Delegation members said Colombia may not have been fully aware of the circumstances that led to India's response through Operation Sindoor. Listen in.
When the Pahalgam incident took place, the terrorist attack took place, and India initiated Operation Sindoor, Colombian authorities, Colombian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, very surprisingly and unexpectedly released a statement offering condolences to the loss of lives in Pakistan. And this was very disappointing and also unexpected. Perhaps this was because of a lack of understanding of the factual matrix of what actually took place in Pahalgam and why India had to respond in the way it did.
And to discuss this, I'm joined by my guest. We have Yash Choudhary, who is a political analyst, and also Dr. Nikul Patel, leader of the Congress party. Good evening to both of you. Thank you for joining us here on Times Now. Dr. Nikul Patel, I want to now ask you, seeing this U-turn from Colombia, will Congress still say no country backed India and our foreign policy failed?
I would like to say that Shashi Tharoor ji is from the Congress and a member of parliament representing Congress to the delegation is speaking that, okay, this is what had happened and now we are getting the feedback from the Colombian government that what statement we have given is not correct. So it is a part of Congress statement too along with the government. Didn't you agree to it? Because whenever any congressman speaks something, you say that it is for the entire Congress. Now, Shashi Tharoor ji himself is speaking, so he's a congressman. I feel that the entire Congress is having the same.
But Dr. Nikul Patel, my question was different. I asked you, will Congress party still say no country backed India? Remember, 3 questions were put out by leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, one of them being no country backed India. And now we have a U-turn coming in after we have delegations from India going to different countries and telling them about Operation Sindoor and why India did what it did after Pahalgam carnage. Because it was Rahul Gandhi and several other leaders who said that our foreign policy has failed because no country supported India. Then you had Mr. Jairam Ramesh saying that, you know, just like terrorists, our MPs are also roaming here and there. So I want to ask you, were they roaming here and there or were they on a mission and that mission is now delivering results? Dr. Nikul Patel, can you hear me?
I think hello. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. I think I have answered your question because Shashi Tharoor ji is from the Congress and he is also representing Congress in the delegation. And he himself is speaking then that can be the entire word of Congress too, that you can take as that stand. You cannot contradict on other part that he is not representing Congress, right? Secondly, any country who is changing his word regarding the terrorist attack on during Operation Sindoor, we appreciate it. And that definitely still what Jairam Ramesh ji was telling about that still the culprits means the terrorists who are out of not in jail means they must be identified and they must be punished. That is what Jairam Ramesh ji was telling.
Okay. Yash Choudhary, how will you like to respond? Because Dr. Nikul Patel very conveniently, you know, avoided the direct question that I asked. And now he's trying to claim credit that, you know, it is Mr. Shashi Tharoor who's saying something, who is a Congress member of parliament, and that represents the entire Congress party. But the views of other Congress leaders have been slightly different.
Thank you. And I'm going to start with reinstating in the similar lines which our MP, Mr. Tharoor said. On a similar line, there's no equivalence between those who stand with the diplomatic delegations and those who stand against it. There's a clear difference between those who have been questioning our delegations, who have been standing against them and been comparing them to terrorists. It's a clear win for Indian diplomatic maturity. It shows that the briefing by Ministry of External Affairs the vision of Prime Minister sending a multi-party delegations have shown its strength. They have gone and shown the real world of terrorism, and they have shown how India stands against terrorism together. But in all of this, very sorry to say, you know, Congress makes statements which are used by Pakistan and China in different channels. You know, they've always been standing against the delegations. They've been comparing them to terrorists. They've been questioning the intent. They've been calling them like the people who are just like going and roaming around. So I don't know, how do they even come forward and take credit for something which they've been against for all this while?
Dr. Nikul Patel, will you like to respond? Also, will you now at least appreciate that India's diplomatic outreach is now showing results, it's bringing results for the country, and that is the reason why this mission was extremely important, that was repeatedly questioned by some in the Congress party since the beginning?
See, when the policy was challenged, because during the Operation Sindoor, we know that the IMF loan was sanctioned to the Pakistan, and all other countries had not voted in favor of us. That was the first part. Secondly, how Donald Trump played a role during the ceasefire, and how he himself erupted with a statement, and which was before our government put something. So there are few definitely questions.
But have you
to the
heard what Mr.
government.
Salman Khurshid has said, Dr. Nikul Patel? He is also a Congress leader. Have you heard what Mr. Salman Khurshid said about the ceasefire understanding between India and Pakistan?
Definitely, government has to. We have also demanded for a parliamentary session regarding.
No, all that
what
is
happened.
fine. But I'm trying to ask you something else, Dr. Nikul Patel. You are continuously raising questions, which, of course, opposition has a right to do that. But simultaneously, there are statements coming in from opposition MPs, opposition leaders as well, who are part of this multi-party delegation. What will you say to those statements? These seem to be fact-checking Congress netas here in India.
See, when all party delegation is visiting different countries, they are the part of the government and representing India at the floor of another country, and whatever feelings they have, they are sharing with those country people, and they are responding to it. Now, when it comes to our country, definitely we were also in support of the entire Sindoor operation. We have never tried to put any controversy on it. But once the ceasefire is there, definitely it's a part of the policy where we want to discuss that what lead to such kind of situation, and still where the terrorists are, what internal security failure was there, still what the government is pursuing out of it. So these are all questions, they are legitimate questions that are being faced to the government.
Of course,
and
these are legitimate questions, but some of these claims and statements are being fact-checked by your own leaders who are part of these delegations as well. Perhaps you're not keeping, a close watch on what they've been saying. Anyways, Yash Choudhary, closing comments, please.
There's a clear difference. The Congress was having a cry on the fact that how they have chosen and not chosen the people. They have sent a list. This clearly states that the government of India and Prime Minister Modi had a better vision of what a delegation should look like who's representing India. He knew that we need people who represent India against terrorism, and not the people who's saying that India, diplomats and terrorists are the same. So it's a clear differentiation. So again, on Mr. Shashi Tharoor's statement, there's no equivalence between those who stand with the delegates and those who say that are delegates and compare them to terrorists, right? So.
All right. Thank you very much, Yash Choudhary, Dr. Nikul Patel. I'm completely out of time. Appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective.